The innovations, superstitions, prejudices, customs, and traditions did not hit the adhan and the wudu only, brothers and sisters. It also hit the salat itself, the contact prayers. There is so much garbage that we had to remove from the contact prayers to make it pure and make it exactly the contact prayers that the Prophet Muhammad preached and practiced. So what I'm going to present to you is the pure contact prayers without any innovations or additions that happened in the last 1400 years. We are trying to take the salat, the contact prayers, all the way to the Prophet Muhammad, the way he preached it and the way he practiced it. And the most important point, please pay attention, the most important point is never to mention any name other than the name of Allah, the name of God, in your contact prayers. This is dictated upon us in the Quran. But you probably know that the average Muslim today adds the names of Muhammad and his family, Abraham and his family, and so on, in the contact prayers. And this nullifies the contact prayer, makes it absolutely useless, if not harmful. So you must be very careful. And this is my responsibility to tell you that. You must be very careful never to mention any name other than the name of Allah, the name of God, in the contact prayers. We see this in the Quran in Surah 72, ayah or verse number 18, where it says, the places of worship belong to God. Do not mention any other name besides the name of God. This is a Quranic commandment. And in Surah 20, verse 15, we see the commandment, أَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي. Observe the contact prayers to commemorate me, singular. God is telling us that we must commemorate Him alone in the salat, in the contact prayers. So I will give you the details of the contact prayers, and we will go to the mosque now and give you a demonstration. But before I do this, I want to clarify that the tashahhud, or the recitation while sitting down, should be only أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له, or just أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, or just لا إله إلا الله. This is enough. There is no God except the one God. And forget about all these names, Muhammad and his family, Abraham and his family. Muhammad and Abraham will be the first people to denounce this use of their name in the contact prayers. And you know something? All the imams of Sunni and Shia, all of them unanimously agreed that this mentioning of Muhammad and his family, Abraham and his family, while sitting down in the contact prayers is not an obligatory part of the prayers. You heard me right. Unanimously, they agreed that this is just a desirable, they think, a desirable part. But it is not. It actually kills your contact prayer, makes it useless, and actually does harm to you. Because God will be offended to have other names mentioned besides Him in the daily worship. You're worshiping God alone. So just be careful. And this, by the way, led to the conclusion that we must recite only Al-Fatiha, the opening surah of the Quran, while standing up in the contact prayers. Do not recite any Quran after Al-Fatiha. And on the surface, this looks like abandoning the Quran. It is not. It's the exact opposite. Because in the contact prayers, a lot of people end up memorizing the short surahs, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ, and that's it. And they think they know Quran. But I must tell you to read Quran every day. You must read the Quran every day. This is a commandment from our Creator, to read His message, the Quran, every day. The whole Quran, not just the short surahs. But in the contact prayers, please, you need only recite Al-Fatiha. And this is a unifying force of all the Muslims in the world. I was praying in Mecca one time, and the Imam read Al-Fatiha, and then he read the whole surah number 32, Surah Al-Sajdah, after Al-Fatiha. And I was thinking, there are a few thousands of people in there around the Kaaba praying behind this Imam, and the vast majority of them didn't know any Arabic. What is their fault? They just stand through all this recitation in Arabic that they do not understand. What is required is only recite Al-Fatiha. And this will unify all the Muslims of the world. They will do the same thing in all the prayers. In Japan, they know Al-Fatiha, they read it in the contact prayers. In Sweden, in America, in Canada, in Australia, in Mecca, in Pakistan, all the Muslims of the world will do the same thing. But this business of reciting long portions of the Quran is wrong. It actually ruins the contact prayers. God wants things to be easy for us, but Satan wants to make things difficult for us. So he adds all things. Besides, when you recite the Quran, you mention Moses and Jesus and Muhammad and Pharaoh and the devil and all these things. You'll mention other names besides the name of God in the prayer, and this is forbidden by commandment from God. We are not to mention any names. When you recite the Quran in the mosque and you mention other names, it's because God says so in the Quran. It says, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Maryam, for example. This is God's command. You say you can mention the name of Mary in the Quran in order to learn from the lessons of previous prophets, messengers, and so on. And it is a commandment from God to mention. So when we read the Quran, we mention these names only because God commanded us to do so. But in the contact prayers, in the Salat, we are commanded never to mention any other name but the name of Allah, the name of God. After you have done your wudu and you are ready for the prayer, you go to a nice clean place. You don't necessarily need a prayer rug. This is one of those innovations. You can pray in any clean place, even bare ground, as long as it is dry and clean. So you go to a nice clean place and you find the direction of Mecca, the direction of the sacred mosque, because this is a commandment in Quran that you must face. This is an organizational point. There is no other significance to it except an organization. You can imagine people going in a mosque and facing in different directions. It will be a mess. So this organizational point dictates on us that we must face the direction of Mecca, wherever we might be. So in the United States, the direction generally is slightly south of east. Slightly south of east. Southeast. So find the direction of Mecca, you face that direction, and then you make your intention. This is the first step. You must say, I intend to do the morning prayer, in any language you like. If you want it in Arabic, you can say, Nawaitu Salat as-Subh. This will be the niyyah, or the intention, for the morning prayer. Or if it is for the noon prayer, you say in your heart or in an audible voice, I intend to do the noon prayer. Nawaitu Salat al-Dhuhr in Arabic. If it is the afternoon prayer, it is Nawaitu Salat al-Asr. And for the sunset prayer, the niyyah or intention is Nawaitu Salat al-Maghrib. For the night prayer, the intention or the niyyah is Nawaitu Salat al-Isha. So, but you can do it in any language you wish, secretly or loudly. Now, after you do the niyyah, now you're facing the direction of Mecca, you make your intention or niyyah, then you open the salat by raising your hands to the side of your face and saying Allahu Akbar like this. Allahu Akbar. There is your opening of the salat. Once you say Allahu Akbar in this manner, you have started your contact or salat, your contact with your Creator. Now after you make the opening takbir, Allahu Akbar, you can either put your hands on the side or you can choose to hold them like this, with your left hand on your stomach and your right hand on top of your left hand. It doesn't make any difference. Some people make a big deal out of it, but there is no difference. Either way is correct. So this is the opening of the salat, the contact prayer. Allahu Akbar. Now you are ready to recite Al-Fatiha, the opening surah of Quran.